Welcome back, everyone. It's John, Wade Boggs fan. Hope everyone is doing well. All right, for those of you who are fairly new to my channel, you may notice something new. I'm wearing a baseball cap. For those of you who have watched some of my earlier videos when I first started my channel, I would often wear some sort of cap, hat. That was mainly because due to COVID, couldn't get my hair cut. So my hair was looking pretty bad, so I hid it behind a cap. But today I'm wearing this cap, and you may be thinking, so what's the big deal? Well, there's a story behind this cap. And first, let me describe it. It's a Red Sox with, and as you can see there, there we go, with Wade Boggs embroidered. It's not an actual autograph, but it's embroidered on with the number 26. And on the back, it has Boggs 26. All right. So I had not this hat, but a hat like this. I bought it, I don't know, maybe 6-7 years ago, maybe. Anyway, I took this hat and wore it to the Red Sox game where they retired Wade Boggs's number. That would be May of 2016. After that was a time when I started setting up the Boggs room. And I had stuff in storage and boxes and different things. And when I started my channel, I thought, well, that'd be perfect to wear my Wade Boggs Red Sox hat. Searched all over for it. I cannot find it at all. So fast forward until about a week and a half ago, I actually saw this one pop up on eBay. So I debated a little bit. Do I want to buy it? Because I'm sure I still have the other one, but I broke down just in case I can never find it. So this is a replacement, but of course, now that I own this, I will now stumble across my previous one and I'll end up with two, but that's fine. So this is sort of a part of my mail day side of this video. Been wanting to wear this on camera for a while, but again, couldn't find my old one. I have no idea where it is, but I'm sure it'll show up one day. All right, so on to the main topic of this video. I don't have any cards to show off. Like I said, this was really a mail day part of the video, but it's more of a discussion, and it's not a rant. Just food for thought, some pros and cons. I saw a couple days ago on one of the, I don't know if it was on Twitter, one of the Facebook groups I'm part of, someone made some comment, and I forget, it wasn't even on that topic. It was just something that this one individual said about spending like $1,000 a month or more on box or case breaks a month. And I think he said that, I think the topic was about buying and selling, or selling your cards or flipping, and were there any true collectors out there, something like that. And I think he said that he goes into these box or case breaks on a monthly basis, pretty big investment. And I think he said he doesn't sell anything that he gets from those breaks, again, which is fine, great. And again, this isn't a criticism of that individual of spending what I consider a lot of money on, box or case breaks. He's free to spend his money however he wants. If I had $1,000 I could spend a month, personally, I'd be putting it into something else, but that's me. Okay. So again, it's not, this isn't a judging thing or whatever, but it got me to thinking, maybe for me, how do I feel about case breaks? How others may feel about case breaks, and just doing a video on it to talk about I said, both sides, see where you fall in. I've participated in maybe 2 or 3 multi-box or half case breaks. Haven't didn't hit anything big, but I was after Boggs cards, and I think at least in 2 or 3 of them, I got a few. Did I get my money's worth? Maybe. It wasn't a big investment. I think I was probably in for less than $10 on each of the breaks, and I may have gotten, $5 worth. Again, given the market value of the cards, they were mainly base cards. But I wanted to go into them because those sets, and I forget, one of them may have been a Panini Prism, another one may have been a Donruss that had multiple tons of different parallels. So I figured maybe I'd get lucky in being able to get some of the parallels and not have to buy them off of eBay. Didn't quite work out, but I wasn't out a ton of money. So I'm probably going to be, I didn't write down all the pros and then all the cons. This is sort of a little bit off the cuff, so to speak. So I may be jumping around between a pro and a con and so on. But just some of the things that I've thought of. One of the pros is, especially with higher end sets, it allows you to participate in opening a box or a case of boxes at a relatively lower cost because you're a participant in it. You're not having to shell out $300-400 a box or $3,000-5,000 a case, for the higher end stuff. Even some of the smaller stuff, you can buy into several boxes of even stuff like, archives and heritage and, things like that, even the flagship base, and, potentially get some cards in it out of it for a relatively low cost rather than buying the whole thing yourself. So that's good. You just have to buy a piece of the action. That's really what it is. Sort of a con to that is it sort of makes your odds, at least in my thinking, my math could be wrong, but it makes your odds a little bit tougher if you're not looking for a specific card. So for me, if I'm looking for a Wade Boggs card and I buy into a case break, then yeah, the odds are the same as if I had bought all that case myself because I'm looking for one card. If I'm looking for particular hits or other things like that, I don't know. The odds may be a little bit lower in terms of finding that particular hit. And especially, I was in on a break that had a multiplayer card and was lucky enough that multiplayer card was pulled. Something great. Well, there were 10 players on that card. So then there was a second round of randomization to find the winner, and I didn't get it. But that's fine. I ended up getting one a few months later, the same thing off of eBay. But speaking of that, I believe in some breaks, you can buy, and they put it up for auction, you can buy a particular player or team. Now, team, you have a greater chance of getting something for your buy-in. A specific player, again, it's going to be harder, even at the lower buy-in, of maybe finding a particular player. But other breaks, I believe, are you just buy a spot, and then they randomize your spot, and you could be a Red Sox fan and you get the Houston Astros or whatever. And you're like, I don't collect the Houston Astros. And, unless you would get a big hit, you could get Houston Astros cards. I'm like, I don't, me personally, if I wanted to get into a Red Sox break or hope to get Red Sox. So again, I may not enter that break because I knew I wouldn't be guaranteed a certain team. The other thing that I heard in some breakers, and again, this isn't a criticism, that no matter what card is pulled everything gets mailed out. Others only mail out hits that are made, and they keep the base. So I think it's good to read the description of whether, because for me, I would want the base. So I wouldn't enter into a case break where I didn't. Only had to be a hit that I would get. So again, another thing to look out with. I know I'm jumping back and forth here, but again, just as things come to mind, to me, and this is now me speaking as a collector of Wade Boggs and of course vintage, which vintage doesn't play a part in modern case breaks. But I personally wouldn't see the benefit of going into case breaks, or at least a lot of case breaks. Yeah, maybe occasionally. I look at it as just as a lottery, as gambling, just as I were if I were to buy a box of, I guess it would be 2020 Topps Series 2, I think is where the Wade Boggs short print is. That if I bought a hobby box of 2020 Topps Series 2 in the hopes of pulling that SP, it's the same as getting into a break. Now, I'm, again, maybe cheaper, okay? Instead of paying, I don't even know what a hobby box of Series 2 goes for. I don't know. It'd be cheaper than buying that box, granted. So that there's a plus, okay? But for me, I still consider it gambling. That unless I did it a lot, where you almost create your own luck. If you do something over and over and over again, chances are things tend to go your way every once in a while. But I don't know. I see it more of a gamble. If I wanted that Wade Boggs SP card that bad, I'd go out and buy it off of eBay. That would still be cheaper than probably trying to find it in packs or boxes. But if you don't care, if you're a team collector, or you just like the set, you like the cards in the set, and I don't care what team, what player I get, I want to spend $10, $15, $20 for a player or team or whatever, and what I get is awesome. That's great. If you don't have a specific interest or hope of what you would pull, yeah, box breaks are great. For me, based on what I collect, I don't think it makes sense. Now, like I said, I did a couple, didn't cost me much. Would I get into another case break? Maybe. If Boggs may have multiple insert cards, parallel cards, yeah, maybe take a shot, and who knows, maybe pull a really low print card. It can happen, right? And that's the thing, it can happen. But I don't know. It's just I saw that comment and just decided to wanted to talk about it to you. So I'd be interested in knowing what your thoughts are toward box breaks, case breaks. I recall Eric, 4-Leaf Cards. He showed off in one of his mail days. He had gotten into I think he bought into a Wade Boggs break, and I forget what set it was. I don't know if it was Allen and Ginter or something, and I don't know if it was a full case or 2 cases or whatever, but I think he got like 10 or 12 base Boggs cards. Hey, he did very well. He didn't hit, I think he may have gotten 1 parallel and everything else was base. So he didn't get some of the other parallels that may have been, in that set. Because I remember specifically he wanted to know whether I needed one of the base, and I already had it. But yeah, you run the risk of getting nothing or a ton of the same card. Now, hey, if I won 10 base cards of Wade Boggs and my buy-in was like $5 plus shipping into the break, I figured that'd be cool. But Yeah, I think I touched upon some of the main ones. I mean, there's been obviously last year and maybe even to this year, there's been rant videos about the price of boxes and this and that and how these breakers maybe seem to get the boxes from the distributors um, before normal collectors and all that stuff. I never really got into it because that's not my thing. But in a sense, they serve a purpose. If you don't have people breaking open boxes and cases of cards, those singles will never make it into the secondary market, or if you want to call it the third market after the breakers buy it, then they most of the stuff finds its way on eBay or on Facebook or you name it for sale. And that's how players like myself find individual cards. They have to be opened from a box first. So box breaks, whether it's an individual buying a case of a product and opening up themselves and then selling what they don't want, or in these case breaks, spread it out to multiple people, and they get what they get. And if they don't like what they get, they could sell it, and that's how it gets into the secondary market and to collectors like myself. But again, for me, I would rather put my money into a specific card that I want, rather than, in my eyes, gamble that money away in hopes of getting the card that I want or cards that I want. So that's it there. I don't want to drag this on too long. If you've been with me for this long, I appreciate it. Yeah, so let me know in the comments on what do you do? Do you get into box breaks? Do you not? Why do you? Why don't you? There's probably some pros and cons that I've missed. So let me know those in the comments as well. So, all right, yeah, let's wrap up this video as I usually do with the trivia. So the question from the last video was, CC Sabathia is one of 3 left-handed pitchers to record 3,000 career strikeouts. Who are the other 2? Most of you got this and actually commented that it would have been much harder if I had given out the 2 that are the answer to this question and make you guess who the third one was, which would be CC Sabathia. But the answer is Randy Johnson. He had a career total of 4,875 strikeouts, and Steve Carlton, who recorded 4,136 strikeouts, with CC Sabathia coming in at 3,093. Actually, if the question had been reversed and I had to guess on CC Sabathia, my guess would probably have been Warren Spahn. But nope, those are the 3. All right, on to the new question, and then we'll officially wrap this video up. Keeping the same theme of pitchers. Only 2 pitchers in Major League history have made more starts than Don Sutton, who started 756 games. Who are the other 2? As always, I will have the answer in my next video. That's all I have for you guys. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.